Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're back on No Man's Sky. Had a little bit of a change of heart. I was going to do a kind of Let's Play series, but I think I'm going to do just kind of random bits and pieces here and there because it's not really the best. I don't want to do just the storyline. So so I landed on this planet. I found this crashed freighter, this crashed ship. So I ended up kind of setting up here and decided I'm going to make a little base here, starter base. So I've played around with some of the terrain mechanic as well. So let's show you a couple of little bits that I've done up here. So I'm trying to get this. It's quite difficult to get this ship to actually land on this at the moment, but I'll work some more on it. But one of the best ways to shape the terrain, from what I can see, is actually to use the building blocks. I mean, you get in your terrain manipulator, you do get quite a lot of options actually. Let's just go over here and do something over here. You do get, so your terrain manipulator has both an actual, obviously a kind of mining version, but then if you press the middle mouse button, it also has an add terrain option. And you'll see down the right hand side there that I get some extra options. I don't get these in the take away, the subtract version of the terrain, unfortunately. I'm hoping they're going to kind of add that, but in the add version, I get, if you look down there, you've got shape and material options. So if I press Z or Z, I get some even further options, which is actually, so this is my material type. So there's a few. There's, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, and that's basically just the rock type. So that's actually the closest I've got is the desert. This is a sort of sandy place. And then if I press F again, oh sorry, let me do that again. So press the Z key, press the F key. No, that's not right. What do I need to do here? Oh, sorry. And then this is one of the things about this game. It feels a little bit like, I guess it's the stage that we're at, sort of slightly counterintuitive user interactions, because that moving up in the build menu is actually the F key usually, but in this case it's a mouse up. So I'm actually using my scroll wheel on the mouse there to get to the shape. I can then Q and E between a circle voxel or a square, and I can also, once I've got that selected, I didn't actually click to select it. I can then also change the shape of that again by the scale of that again by mouse wheeling, and then obviously as I add now, it's going to add the terrain. At the moment, there's no. It's not adding a perfect square to that, obviously, so it's very difficult to get kind of the desired effect you want. There's no smoothing option, and that's actually the smallest, that size there I've got of the squares, for example, is the smallest you can get. So it is quite difficult to do specific kind of shapes. So what I did over here is I kind of roughly built it out. So actually if we kind of, I'm a little bit worried I'm going to blow up my ship here, but if I kind of just show you, there's no way of rotating this voxel either, which is a little bit annoying. So you have to kind of get in the right place for it. Let's just try that again. Let's just come out of that for a second. No, it doesn't. I thought maybe depending on the way I was facing, it might. Q&A doesn't scroll it or anything, so if I just add a couple more here, you see what I mean. One of the problems is that you get to a situation where, so I want to just flatten this off, but I know if I click there, it's going to add a big lump on top. So what I did, and I'm not sure I'm actually going to keep these, I may well take them out because I don't think the ship wants to land on them. But if you place a building structure or a floor, for example, let's get the right tool. So pressing pressing Z again. Actually, get off of the. Sorry, let's get off of the terrain tool because I think that helps. There we go. And then I press to get a floor. I'm only using wooden components at the moment because that's all I've got unlocked. And then I go up into that, so it's F up into that. This gives me my actual options. Now, if I place this, for example, this one, it's going to remove that rock. Oh, it's a bit too close to my starship, but if I do it there, for example, it's actually flattened that off. And then what you can do is then pick this back up, as long as it doesn't think I'm inside it. So if you'll notice there, it's actually flattened it off. It's not done the greatest of jobs, but it's better than nothing. So if I was actually planning to lift all these, so I'm going to see what this looks like. Still getting used to the controls, guys, so it's taking me a while. I don't know if it's kind of muscle memory from Arc or what, but it also kind of feels a little bit like some of it is not entirely finished yet. I lost the light there, but so you see now actually I've got a pretty decent flat surface from doing that. And actually I think I probably can land the ship on that. So it's that kind of idea. Sorry, just that's probably the quickest way of getting rid of the clutter on the screen. Is the same thing that helps you tunnel into a hillside. So this looks like just a kind of single story structure. And there's not a lot to this at the moment, but I've built into the wall of the mountain here, and I'm planning to kind of tunnel down. And I've just got my basic kind of startup gear happening in here. So I've got a couple of ideas. I haven't, as I said, I haven't got very many materials yet. So I'm going to kind of extend on a little bit further down here. And then I'll bring you back for something else I just worked out how to do as well. All right, back in a sec, guys. Okay, guys, so I've added in this kind of lower area. So this is going to be my kind of station crafting kind of area. And then obviously I've got quite a lot of room for expansion here because I can just kind of tunnel into the ground, I believe. So just as I said, all I did really, I didn't have to cut all this out. I just placed a wall down here and I placed the floors, and the floors actually then cut all the space out themselves. So I haven't got many blueprints, but obviously me being me, I went for the aesthetic things over necessarily the save points and the health points and stuff like that. So I got a bed. So just something I've looked at on the beds. So whereas on the stairs, for example, when I placed the stairs, R and T were my rotation controls. Here, I actually have, and this is quite pleasing to see, is that when I go to, so this is me trying to place this bed, when I go to place the bed and I press R or T, it replaces that option with actually it's a bit counterintuitive because I have to hold down R or T, and then that activates my mouse wheel option. It feels like some of this is going to change because that's a bit odd as a kind of user control, but at least the fact we've got this level of flexibility is great because that's kind of unlimited kind of options there in terms of placeables. So I'm just going to stick the bed down in there. So you'll notice, just another thing to show you, you'll notice that this stuff at the top I did in red, and what it's actually done is it's remembered the colour that I had made this deck out here, or this landing pad out here. So I think every time you place something down, it remembers the colour values that you had from the previous one and will continue that on. I'm not sure if that kind of is good or bad or just something to get used to, but obviously, so what I've ended up with is this. However, there is a quick way. There's a fairly quick way of changing the colour of everything. So if you notice, I can't do anything with this building piece until I press Z or Z. So I press that key, and as soon as I press that key, I now have the control option down there. If you look, delete and colour. So as soon as I hold the control key, I now have the option to either delete or press E to go to the colour options. So I'm going to press that. I'm going to press F now. I haven't let go of the control button. Little bit odd, but I haven't let go of that control key. So I think the options I went with are actually red and white. And I'm going to press paint. I'm not going to let go of the control key at all. And I'm going to select the next one, and I'm going to press F again on that. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I can actually do that on all the things I want to. I haven't left my finger off of control at all. If you take your finger off of control, then you have to go through that menu again and reselect it. So actually, that's quite a quick way of actually being able to change the colour on everything, because it doesn't take you long to run around the room and click everything. It would take you quite a long time if you had to go through all those menus. So this is the base at the start for now, guys. I think I'm probably going to call that an episode. Obviously, you're going to see more of this because I'm going to be in this spot for a while, and I'll probably do some more building and show you more building. All right, guys. So yeah, any questions or comments or anything, then drop them below. All right, guys. Have a good one. Take it easy.